Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play the Occult Chronicles. In the last episode, we finished exploring the attic, and we've explored the vast majority of the mansion at this point. We have the backyard to possibly still go into and take a quick peek around there, looking for either the portal generator or the robot back there. One of them I suspect is on another side of the mansion past that one beam, but I'm not gonna run across that beam. That could end up being a really bad decision for us. Things are looking pretty good for us as well. Samwise has some decent stats, full talismans. We're beginning to max out our specialist cards at this point. We've got all the bones we need to use all of our psychic talents and spells. Quite a few edges to help us, and things are looking really good. We also have 5 clue tokens to help us with the final encounter so far. For equipment, I think we picked up an old flintlock last episode. And a tablet, right, to give us +1 more wands value as well. Oh yeah, and I think we gained at least 1 more Arcana card with the Fool. So, let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. Exploring more of the mansion. Before we do so, though, I fixed some of the texts that we had seen so far in the game. I fixed the crossbow trap, I reworded the green slime's magic encounter option that I had added, and I fixed the junk pile text as well. Very minor things, right? But, I was in the files a little earlier today, looking at the Khufu head to see why on earth we lost sanity as a reward. And there is no option there for that. There's no decreased sanity in the list. So I suspect what actually happened is our psychic pushback showed up and applied some minus sanity to us in that encounter. Because nothing else I was looking at in the game files would make sense as to why that occurred. Alright, well, let's go ahead and turn in a few quests. If I recall correctly, we're on this side to talk to the strange creature in the cage, since we have the Schrodinger's key for it. Turn in the quest to Colonel Von Pelt. We'll probably interact with the book and see if we can get a new spell. We'll talk to the ghostly dinner party to let them know we found the butler, and then I think we will head into the backyard briefly. But we'll take a look at our quests first. We may go upstairs to the second floor instead. The only real problem with going to the backyard is if we want to full explore it and complete the quest back out there, we will be entering the basement probably at this point for story tokens. And that's a little too late. The next story token we get, we need to stop whatever we're doing and head right for the basement. Alright, well, let's pick up. Walking over here and talking to the strange creature in a cage. You decide to use the key that you found in the clock to free the imprisoned familiar. The key fits the lock on the door of the cage perfectly. You twist it and hear the mechanism click open. In a brief second of phasing into shadow, Griziel Greedygut simply passes through the door of the cage without bothering to even open it up. It looks up at you and tells you that it has a score to settle. It wants to accompany you on your mission. Darn it. I can't speak today, apparently. Cacodemon Familiar. +1 bonus to Pentacles. If a damaged bone would result in you losing health points, there's a 50% chance that one of those health points will be blocked while this card is in your inventory. Another talisman. Now, oh, and Wheel of Fortune Arcana card, very nice. All right, so we'll talk about both of these now. So we are maxed on talismans. So if I want this talisman, I have to drop one of my existing ones. The swords one, see, I thought these showed up on encounters that used their associated stat line. So the scarab and the face of the mountain would show up if Pentacles was involved in the encounter that you just took. So the Thunderbolt would show up. If I'm correct, this shows up during mostly evade traps and physical combat encounters that we lose. I guess what we'll do is we will drop the crow. It will always show up for encounters it correlates to, but also has a 10% release chance. The Thunderbolt has a 50% chance to appear and a 5% release chance. So I like the odds of it not disappearing better than the crow. So let's discard the crow and we'll claim the Thunderbolt. Now, Wheel of Fortune, right? Is that what that was? This is a very interesting Arcana card, and one of the more complex ones that we could have. So it removes all trick and played cards from the table, and then redraw the designated number of trick cards for the challenge after this card is used to take a trick. So it resets the trick board. All trick points remain yours. So if we... I tend to use this at for the very final encounter just to get like a whopping 80 points on it. But it could be useful in like a trap situation where even using this Arcana card is not enough to give me the victory points I need, and I need to reset that board because I have even more cards in my hand and I want to try to not lose that encounter. So it's interesting. I am glad to see we have it. Another Class 1 Haunting. We will get her. 2 knights, and then we have 3 aces. So not very good. Not a very good draw for us. Didn't quite give us the 10. But I'll place it here anyway, because we can convert that 2 up to a queen with our machete. Remember, by the way, I didn't forget, we can use our machete twice in an encounter now. The Pentacles card? We do have a Pentacles card. Alright, we won the encounter with the ghost. Okay, so let's use our machete on this 9 to take that, and then we'll try using it on that 5 as well. Alright, for an extra... Actually, here it was 3 points. And here now it's 2 points. Alright, well done. You got her good. Yes, we did. That was all we did. We got her, but we didn't get what she carries. What's over here? Oh, okay, right. We want to get that too. Let's do this room first. You decide to tell Van Pelt that you have returned the head of the polar bear to the trophy wall. Colonel Von Pelt roars with approval when he observes your approach. You did well, laddie. I'll not hunt you today. You can't tell from his ear-to-ear grin whether he is joking or not. He raises his elephant gun and pulls the trigger, your ears ringing, and when the cloud of ghostly smoke clears, you recognize that Van Pelt is gone. Your ears ringing? Van Pelt quest. Ears ring. Or are left ringing. Ghost Hunter. During any challenge option of the horror type, 1 is subtracted from the target level at the start of the challenge, which is a tiny bit easier for horror challenges. The Sun, another Arcana card. All edges that you possess are increased on level, 1 level. the sun. Text. If able, after this card is used to take a trick. That's an amazing Arcana card to get. And 2 more experience points as well. So let's get another point of swords. I'm going to go for another point in cups as well, right after that, to help us with traps. We're nearing the point where if we're not in the basement this episode, we absolutely will be in the next one. And we're going to want as much cups and swords as possible to get us through the basement. Okay, so this is entirely optional. We do not need to interact with this whatsoever, but I wouldn't mind having a second spell. So let's go ahead and read the tome. Your training has included research into countless forbidden tomes. You can read a dozen dead or lost languages. Perhaps we can find some useful information here. I don't know if my training would have done so, right? Samwise's history that we are coming up with is that he used to be like a bodyguard or did some work for the Black Lodge sorcerers before he helped take them down and join the Odd. And then he worked as a bouncer instead for a little bit at some other place. And then the Black Lodge sorcerer who he didn't have killed wounded him, right? That was the idea. It took away his ability to use magic. But he's still familiar with it. And being in this place, apparently, is helping him recall his previous training. I don't know why I played the 6 on the 5. This is not a combat encounter. I can't use my axe to help me read a book. We did win, thankfully, because a Pentacle showed up. So let's use our Knight of Pentacles there. Yeah, you got lucky, Tim. Oh, we would have won with just this card anyway. But I should absolutely have played the Knight on the 5 of Swords to start. You begin to read the tome and realize that you have established a mind link with an evil intelligence that resides within. Your will is stronger, and it bows before you, revealing new vistas and hidden knowledge. Maybe this book also comes from Planescape Torment, like Fall from Grace does. It's clear that Vic played that game, or at least is familiar with the characters from it. And in Planescape Torment, there was a spellcasting book that you could get a hold of that would teach you spells. But in return for that, you had to do things for it. But I don't think it tried to dominate you. Hyborian Lightning. So we'll take a look at this together when we're done. And 8 energy. That's enough to charge at least both of these. Okay, so that spell goes into our Pentacles inventory. Roll 1, so it's used in combat, sorcery, and battle. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, maybe it's because of how I changed some of these spells. So, I think spells originally... I can't remember, though. But I think that they were used in battles, but not combats. That's a weird thing to say, but I think that was Vic's way of separating things you could use when you were using magic versus things you could use when you were physically fighting something. And so, but I think I added combat to all the spells, if they didn't already have it, but I can't remember. It's been years since I last looked at what I did to spells in this game for the mod. In any case, let's go ahead and read it. Roll 1 bone and select a non-face card in your hand to discard, and then add the numerical value of that card to X random non-faced cards of the same suit in your hand, where X is the number of pentacles rolled, then draw a card. So you get rid of a card, that number gets added to the same suit for other cards in your hand. And that would bring us up to 10. So remember that that's a spell. It doesn't get affected by our melee edge. Still, we could convert a bunch of low cards to high cards using Hyborian Lightning, and then use our melee weapons to turn them into pages or queens or what have you. Another ghost. We're going to beat you up as well. Should we use Hyborian Lightning? How much magic is it to use it? Just 1 energy? So let's go ahead and show how it works, right? So let's come down here, select it, and we'll cast it. All magic spells roll their own bone. I believe all bones for magic spells are exactly the same as other magic bones. They just look a little different. I really like the look of the dice, though. So in this case, we have to select Hyborian Lightning, and we're using the Hyborian Lightning bone. And so it says over here that we might take some damage. You rolled less than or equal to your Pentacles attribute. 1 point of damage was blocked. And now that we successfully cast a spell, we need to actually see if what it affects down here. So we can select one non-face card in our hand, and we add that value to 2 other random non-face cards of the same suit. So if we select and it could select a 10, by the way. Oh, actually, okay, so this is interesting. So if I select the 4, it could choose the ace and the 10 to upgrade, in which case we only see the ace increase by 4 points and we get another 5. If I choose the 10, it would choose 2 of these and make both of those 10s, for example. So the question is, based on how I use this, do I want to convert, like, our 4 to a 9? And okay, let's select the 5. And it chose the 10 and the ace, is what happened there. Okay, so that wasn't so useful in the end. We just earned 5 points to our ace. And I mostly did that just to show you guys how it works. It's important to note that, and I believe and I'm glad it did choose the 10, that just because a numbered card is maxed, it doesn't mean it won't be chosen by the effect of the spell or your feat or what have you. Keep that in mind when you're deciding what abilities to use. I'll play the page there. I think there's a face card up here for swords for some reason. But there probably isn't. We'll use our queen. Oh! Looks like that worked out for us in the end anyway. We're able to take that 6 with this 6. But before we do that, we'll convert that to a 9. Then we'll use our machete to change this 9 to a page. And then we'll use our machete again. Now we should convert one of these 10s to a higher number. Because if we roll a 1, trying to change this, if we roll 1 or a 2 on this 8, we don't get any more points. So, although it's be nice to take advantage of the fact we could increase this card even higher, I don't see why I'm babbling. I'm also not making any sense. There we go. So if we had rolled that 2 on this 8, it would have changed the 8 to a 10, no additional points. But changing a 10 to a face card, which is what we just did, is much more useful, as that gives us more points. We get a ton of courage, and we actually need 6 courage. Alright, let's also keep going for that cups. I'm also going to save the game really quick. It just occurs to me that we did, after all, get another Arcana card earlier. Okay. This must be the remains of the acolyte of which the demon in the fireplace spoke. He was obviously playing a very deadly game by trying to summon and bind these demons. The name should still be on him somewhere. A single knight as our face card. Then a mixture of 7s or lower cards. It's a random played card? A random non-face played card. Okay. I mean, there's not much I can do about that. Oh, but that's for lore. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the tab. I think we can use it here, but we can't. This is a perception check. I don't know why I put the 2 on that 7. I should have put the knight there. Because now we may lose this challenge. You carefully search the acolyte's robes and find a small scrap of paper with a name etched onto it, in what must be blood. Okay, that's what we need to bring back to the fireplace, demon. But here, though, I think we're going to betray this demon. Having considered this whole, instead of completing the quest, I don't know exactly how it matters. So, but I don't trust this demon at all. I think this demon's lying to us. So, we'll betray this one and force it to reward us. The other demon, though, seems like it is telling us the truth, so we'll give that one back its paper. Having considered this whole errand carefully, you have figured it out. The slip of paper obviously carries the name of the demon you have bargained with, written in Old Stygian. Why would this prince want it so badly? You could speak the name and command the demon to reward you. He was most likely going to betray you anyway. Now, that's not the case, and a part of me feels like this game, I have quite a few things I would change it on the game if I could access the game's game engine, but I can't do so. One of the things I would do is I would have an encounter like this. If you actually complete the quest, the demon would just leave and might not reward you. It'd be a neat little twist for some of these encounters, that you wouldn't get anything. Because I'm pretty sure there's no real difference as to how you go about solving this quest, other than the name of the edge we're about to get. Actually, I think if you complete the quest, you get 1 experience point and then a chance of more rewards. If we force the demon to reward us, I believe we get an edge and then a chance of more rewards. You speak the name on the paper and are rewarded with a howl of torment from the demon. It lashes around the room, knocking over everything except for you. Your guess was correct. You compel it to reward you and then to return to the hell from which it came. You have made an enemy today. Bargains with demons. During any challenge option of the persuasion or deception type, each not revealed trick card has a 5% chance of being scryed at the beginning of the option. That was the only thing that we were able to get besides that. That demon was not very happy with us. Another hunchback. Okay. Let's try one. So I think last time we did beat it up. So I'm going to try one of these other options to read the ending text. I don't think we've tried this before. Blast it with a spell. So these two were options I added to this encounter. It's surprisingly agile, but you are certain you can calm it. You can down it with a well-placed spell or two. It's not like this creature is immune to magic, right? And we won the challenge just like that. Do we have a spell we want to use? I don't think there is. What could I do? The only spell that I could use Hyperborean Lightning on would be to convert my... choose this 3 to make our 8 a 10. And I don't think I really need to do that. Is the Queen of Cups up here? Probably not. Odds are she's not. But I'll hold on to the King of Cups for a little bit. Okay, well now we have to use the King of Cups because we drew a 5. We could play the 2 here on the off chance the Queen is up here, but I don't think she is any longer. She was. Oh, Tim, when you hesitated over the night, you had that feeling that she was up there. Why did you do what you did? Come on. That would have been an amazing move on your part. Everyone would have been flabbergasted. It doesn't matter. You dodge its attacks and unleash your magic on the foul thing. Soon it lies twitching on the cold stone floor. You hasten away, none too eager to see if its call to arms summons worse creatures. Alright, plus 1 more cups. Let's grab Psychic Talent Edge next. You focus your psychic energy and tap your knife once more against the imaginary glass. Ghostly heads snap to you in attention. Dessert will be here shortly. While we are waiting, what can you tell me about this place? Dessert is sumptuous, and you have made one or two otherworldly acquaintances. More importantly, you think you have learned some important things that will improve your chances on this mission. Well, we did learn one or two more things, and the experience points arguably does help my chance on this mission. I'm going to change my mind and grab a second psychic talent instead of another psychic edge. I don't even remember what type of edges I have. I wish that the game would kind of sort these into which ones are psychic, which ones are combat edges, because it's tough for me to go through all of these looking for which one might be psychic and which one isn't. I still have no clue what wand amplification does. I'm still pissed off at myself for even choosing this. If I was going to just choose a random one and then go back to the main menu, I should have chosen one that I would at least benefit from. Because I don't think this is doing anything. I know we have a psychic tap. Oh! I think the only psychic edge you have, Tim, is the one that... Yeah, you have this one. No, not that one. Appropriation? This is it. This is the only one you have so far. So this is giving us an effective 7 wand skill now for psychic tests. Alright, welcome to the backyard. There's a few nasty traps out here. And actually, what quest do I still have? We didn't find this. We didn't find this. We know where the wrench is, but I'm probably not going to complete that quest. There's a shotgun tripwire trap out here, which is rather nasty, and a grenade trap will be out here, too. The backyard also gives you a feel for what the basement will be like. There's several, it could be several long passages with several big rooms, but there might be nothing really of interest in those rooms. You see the cold eyes reflecting light in darkness, and you stop on your tracks. Soon the rest of the creature comes into focus, and you stand there amazed at the size of it. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Or in this case, one very big one. Your eyes widen in horror at the pile of bones that the snake sits upon. This thing is a killer, and you are right to be afraid. A good hand. A good hand. Unfortunately, we're getting a lot of bad cards up there, which is making me get less and less confident about being able to do this. Every single card I flip, and we fail. You struggle to maintain your sanity. You've read about specimens like this in the old case files on the Fasawat Amazon expeditions, but you never thought that you would see one. You wonder who or what decided to bring this pet here, and why. The snake must be 30 feet long and the width of a large tree trunk. You think you can win this, but you had better keep it at arm's length. If it gets a hold of you, it could all be over very quickly. That makes it sound like this works a bit like the green slime. I'm also going to want to add, let's see, star. Add snake psychic option. Oh, no. One face card only. Okay, so... So let's start by using Hyperborean Lightning. We successfully cast a spell. We get to choose a card and add it to 3 add its value to 3 other cards. So I'm going to pick the 8. Now that's interesting. The 8 of Swords should have had its 8 added to 3 other sword cards. But it looks like what it did is it added it 3 times to 1 card. Wow. That strikes me as being a glitch. Hyborian Lightning is nowhere near as good as I thought it was. Oh, that's awful. So it can randomly pick the same card and give its value to it over and over and over again. We should have gotten, I thought we should have gotten like 3 10s out of that. I don't know what to say. Did I not select the right card? I was pretty sure I selected... Maybe I selected the wrong card. I can't check because I'm inside the screen. I'll check right after this is done. Okay, let's do this. Let's do the fight. Okay. 6 of Pentacles. I'm gonna play the 10. And hope we can save our queen for a face pentacle card that might be up here. And unfortunately, we have to use her right now. So, because that's a 10 as well. Still, now we've won the challenge. Oh! Did it work? Maybe it did. I think I chose the wands, Tim. No, not the swords. No, I did not. We got to draw 1 card from using Hyborian Lightning. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Yeah, I still think the spell messed up. Sorry. The game, when you draw cards into your hand, it sorts them numerically, and so I saw the 9 on this side of the 4, which it shouldn't be, and it assumed, oh, maybe we actually did improve the cards correctly, but no, I don't think we did. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is use our axe on our 10, and hope we get a 3 or better. Good. I guess it's a Queen of Wands? To take that Queen of Wands. Ooh, that was awkward. We didn't quite get what we wanted there. There we go. I must have chosen wands. I must have misclicked. Okay, well, we won the challenge. So there's a 9 on the board and a 9 in our hand. And I don't remember using any abilities that would lower anything up here. And we didn't increase... I don't think we increased this 9 at all from an earlier wand's value. Let's win this challenge. It's an epic battle, but you wound the thing all over its body and head. Eventually it stops twitching. Some more rope. So we have a grappling hook and a rope. They work the same way, actually. Is that right? -6 to target level for climb encounters. And the grappling hook is -8 level for climb encounters. So we should have no problems climbing up and down pits now with both of these things. This also gives us +1 more cups. So I'm going to go back to the main menu, everyone. That's an amazing find as well. And I'll be right back. All right, everyone, I went and checked, and yeah, the spell is bugged. Or rather, it looks like it's bugged. So, I chose the 8, and it randomly chose the 8 as the thing to be increased, and it increased that 8 3 times, is what it looked like it tried to do. So, there's problems with some of the spells in the game, and I've got no clue why we have a copy of the 9. I think in the last... one of the last times we played this game, either last year or the year before that, one of my viewers mentioned that they also have gotten duplicate cards from the deck they draw their hand from when they're using certain spells or abilities. So, in this respect, I would have to dock a few more points from Occult Chronicles on a review if I was to re-review it. It would probably get a 5 on a scale of 1 to 20 instead of a 7. Because if the spells are messing up and the hand of cards you draw from is a different deck of cards than what's on the trick board, but there's some sort of a weird way the game tries to hide that from you, I'm having all sorts of issues with this game. So my intention is, I like Occult Chronicles, and we're going to finish this run, and I don't want to ruin this for all you people who like watching me play it. But I'm probably not going to play a second round of it this year. You see only the slightest movement of the tentacled limbs. Camouflage against its background, it springs its trap. The creature is a sickening mound of flesh, appendages, and oozing slime. You are caught off guard by the smell of the creature, and the smell of the creature is overwhelming as well. Looks great. This is one of my more favorite pictures for this game. I really like the way the young one looks. That looks pretty scary. Okay, let's go ahead and resist the horror check. I'll use the 8. And we shouldn't have. The king showed up to take away my knight. But we still won the challenge. You've seen things far worse than this, have we? The creature seems to be covered in small mouths, each lined with razor-sharp teeth. You recognize it as some member of the shambler species that roams the plateau of Lumeria in another dimension. A sorcerer of some skill must have summoned it here. It hails from another dimension, but it has a physical body. Surely it can be destroyed? Alright, so we know Hyperborean Lightning's not really going to work for us. I wonder if that's because I chose a card, the leftmost card, and then the game had issues trying to figure out what to do because it removes that card, but then... okay, let's stop. Stop and talk about this really quickly and then move on. I don't know why I'm trying to think of... Okay. I'm a computer programmer. I do computer programming stuff in real life. And I love bug hunting in code that I have both I have written and in what other people have written, because it gives me a chance to try to think about what has gone wrong and try to solve it as a puzzle, and I really like that. So my mind is trying to think of what could have happened to the game that it did what it did when we used Hyperborean Lightning. And then it also gave us, when we drew a card that was already up here. That seems really odd to me. Was the snake a physical challenge? Because that would have her 1 feet lower all of the cards' values by 1. But otherwise, I don't know why it did it. In any case, I don't have access to the game engine. And I don't think anyone does any longer, because it was created by Adobe Director, and Adobe Director doesn't exist any longer. And while Adobe does, and they might let me access their game files, they switched over to a service-based system. That's fancy. That's a fancy way of saying that you never own their software, and you have to pay to access their online repository of it. And I effing hate them for that decision. What a greedy company they turned out to be because of that. In any case, it costs several $100s, like for a subscription, and I'm not willing to spend a few $100s to have an attempt to edit these files, to take a look at the game engines for this and Armageddon Empires. Put you there. Use the machete on you next. There's always a risk doing that, by the way, because if we have a 10 here and it's a knight and we convert it to a page, we don't get anything, and we can't use it again because we can't target face cards with our machete. Nice. Alright, we've definitely won this encounter. Hello, Queen of Wands. This combination, machete and axe, combined with that one edge at level 3, has been amazing for us. The creature withstands a tremendous amount of punishment, but eventually it succumbs to its wounds. These things really are tough buggers. So I mentioned only playing this once this year, because this year I promised myself that if a game is buggy or glitchy, I wouldn't play it on my channel. I wouldn't put up with it if it is. And this game has glitches in it, but it'd be weird not to play this game for Halloween. I like this game. It's very atmospheric, but I did stop playing Duskers because of the bugs in that game way back in December of last year, January of this year. And so I feel like I should be consistent in my my approaching of what games I play on my channel. Your attention is drawn to the trunk of a gnarled old tree. A cleft indicates that the tree has been hollowed out, and you think that you see something moving inside. It's probably just a squirrel. As you get closer, you begin to feel uneasy. Suddenly, a haunting pair of yellow eyes appears. A strange creature pulls its head out of the cleft in the tree and peers out at us. You freeze in your tracks. The strange creature radiates an aura of ancient nature magic. You sense the work of Pan here, and that scares you. Usually things far worse than this. We even got a sanity point from that horror check. Nice. The creature seems to be made of wood and leaves and might even be part of the tree. You recognize the influence of the god Pan here. He was thought to be merely a legend until the disastrous odd expedition of 1919 that was lost in the Nada River Gorge on the... I can't pronounce that. Peloponnese? You suspect that this is some type of herald or harbinger, or perhaps even a priest, who had delved too far into the mysteries of Pan. You resolve to tread carefully here. The goat god is notorious for his ability to induce panic. So he's part of a quest, and we can either kill him now... Oh, sorry, if you kill him now, we don't get to complete the quest. But I think you can side with him against the quest giver if you wish. I'm going to flee him at this moment. It hasn't yet seemed to want to harm you, but staying in its presence is slowly draining your willpower, and you already feel fatigued. You decide to muster your courage and get out of here while the getting is good. Your will is stronger than whatever force is seeking to keep you here. You turn and walk away. I'm not going to step on the unexplored spots back here. I doubt there's a clue token there, and there might be a trap. And since we started exploring the backyard, we'll finish exploring the backyard. The witches will be out here somewhere. Shotgun and tripwire. You see the shotgun almost at the same time that you feel the tripwire against your foot, but it's too late. Boom. Without hesitation, you throw yourself into a crouching roll and tumble away from the line of fire. Giant leap. Nice. Okay, that 4 became an ace, and we got to draw another card. And we have to use our Page of Cups on that ace. In this instance, there's no reason to hold on to any of my face cards in my hand. We have the Queen, Knight, and Page of Wands, and we drew a Two of Wands. But the only reason why I would want to hold on to the Queen is to take a Knight or Page if it was up here. But we already have them in our hand. So, and if the 10 shows up, or an 8 or a 9, we still have the Knight and Page in our hands to take it as well. So we would benefit from playing the Queen. If the King shows up here, then we're in trouble. We'd have to use either the 7 on the King or another face card, so. I explained the stuff this way, by the way, everyone, because I'm attempting to cover what's going through my mind and why you see me making the choices I am making for this card game. Is there a 9 and a 10 of Wands here? Actually, there isn't a 9 because we have one in our hand. So that's only a 10. Could be up there. There was a 10 up there. Okay, then we should have held on to our Page. Unfortunately, we can't take that. You execute a tumble that would make a world-class gymnast proud. Your ears are ringing a little, but you are unscathed by the buckshot that narrowly missed your head. Come on, or a fortune. Nothing. Oh, this is a huge backyard, too. We should just turn around and go back to the mansion. We only have this quest. No, let's finish this. Another protector. Let's try to shatter its mind, just to read what I added as the text for this. You decide to silence the creature as quickly as possible, shattering its mind and breaking its ability to even speak. We have a great hand for this. 2 queens, a page, and a king. So we'll take that 9 with our queen. We've almost won the challenge just like that. We'll take this 5 with our 9, which lets us win the challenge. It proved a bit tougher than you had originally anticipated, as there wasn't much in its head to work with. What was there, though, was as tight as a knot and seemed to be controlled by an outside force. In the end, though, it lies still, its mind shattered, and its breath ended. I like that. I think I did a good job with that. Remember that the bullets aren't useful to us. Our pistol cannot be reloaded. Okay. Sorry, I'm not reading. Dominate, we want this. Roll 1 bone and select a not revealed trick card. Discard it and gain X points to your trick taking score, where X is the number of wands rolled. Gain 3 additional points if it's a face card. Dominate will play really nicely, assuming that that psychic talent works with the third eye, and it doesn't quite do so. The third eye can be used for horror, combat, psychic, and sorceries. Dominate is used for combat, humanoid, animal, monster, eldritch, demon, and psychic. So combat and psychic, but not horror or sorcery. So it's we can't use this combo as much as I originally wanted to, but still, we can still use it, obviously. So, oh, we're not allowed to walk in between the planters. Interesting, but there's no reason to do so. You hear a rustling sound and pause to locate it, but it quickly stops. After waiting patiently, you start to move again, only to once more hear the strange rustling. It sounds like a bush being shaken for its berries. Without any warning, a 6-foot plant creature leaps out at you. Its tentacle-like vines and roots reach out to entangle your feet. You can't believe what you are seeing. The plant is aggressive, and you're pretty sure it wants to eat you. This, I think, is from the Day of the Triffolids. It's one of the first movies I remember watching when I was young on the old small television set. It was black and white, if I remember correctly. Like, not the TV, but the movie. And I remember the trees, like, having this spore that they would spew on things. And I remember a scene from the movie with, like, the tree limbs blowing in the wind as someone was trying to speed away from them in a car. The creature is surprisingly mobile and agile. It's also intent on catching you. You can smell a sickly odor in the air as it releases a bunch of spores. That can't be good. You remember a case file that you read about. It was a 1915 Triffid event that began in Indochina and spread to Sumatra and Malaysia. Agent John Wyndham and scores of other operatives were lost. It was supposed to have been contained and all the pods destroyed. Apparently not. These creatures are very dangerous, but you are confident that you know how to destroy one of them. We will try swinging chop. Wasn't enough. Okay. Not likely to be able to make this into a queen, so she can just have that. I'll play the page. I don't think the Ten of Wands is up there. I'm getting lots of cards out here that I could almost take for sure with my machete, but I'm not 100% sure it will work. Okay, well, we might as well use our machete and make these attempts. That was successful. And where was the other one? That queen. Oh, the knight actually is more likely to be converted. We need one less number. We need a 4 better. Oh, we got a 6. Oh, we could have taken that queen with our 8. Okay. Still, 34 out of 6. Well done. The thing just doesn't want to die, but you managed to inflict enough damage that it simply doesn't have a choice. Oh, we can get another psychic talent. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to take, I think, something more miscellaneous to giving us more trick points. We're going to take Death Warning. I don't understand Psychic Pushback very well. I just know you don't want to have a lot of it. I almost never play Psychic characters and use Psychic talents. So, let's take Death Warning. Whenever Psychic Pushback is generated from the use of Psychic talents, subtract 10% times X of the pushback value, where X is the level of the edge. We will never see what that value is. This might actually not do anything at all, if I think about it. But I'm gonna take it anyway. That's an interesting looking gazebo. You see the soft glow of a fire. As you approach it, you recognize the outline of a cauldron sitting on top of it. Steam rises from it, indicating that its contents are being brought to a boil. You suddenly feel very uneasy. There's a spell at work here. You focus your mind to shrug off its effects, but you begin to feel hazy and drunk. 3 pairs of green, glowing eyes stare out at you from around the cauldron. Walking into the witch's ritual and beholding their hypnotic gaze has put you at a disadvantage, and you need to fight to keep your sanity. It's tempting to accidentally place like a 10 up there on the queen, so I can convert it to have a chance to convert it to a queen. But then I remember this is a horror check. We're not actually fighting these ladies of the night at the moment. You stand defiantly and stare them back down. You've come across three Sunarian witches. You sense the presence of the horned god nearby. The witches have gone back to their ritual. You wonder why they would treat your intrusion so lightly. You consider your options carefully. These creatures are undoubtedly powerful, and the ritual centering around that cauldron must strongly strengthen them in the power they draw from the horned god. You sense that they have left you alone for a reason. You are not certain if it's due to the fact that they have completely discounted any threat that you could muster, or that they somehow want you to make contact. A single knight. Sorry, single king is what we have, and no sword cards at all. You know what, everyone? I'm going to use a card here. Oh, no. Don't use a card here yet. A card. I want to use an Arcana card. Oh, we didn't have to. Okay, fantastic. I was going to use either Temperance to give me 5... I'm sorry, no, not Temperance. That would have been the Fool to gain 5 experience cards. Or the Sun to level all my edges by 1 for anything that can be leveled. You step forward and address them. They seem eager to talk with you. The witches cackle and fix their gazes upon you with their glowing green eyes. Then, alternating words as if the three were sharing the same mind, you hear them speak. Greetings, mortal. Although you and I would normally be at odds, I have an offer to make that should suit us both. My heralds cannot enter the mansion, as it is quite warded against them. Inside is a book that I require. Bring it to my heralds, and I will stand aside from interfering with your mission. I might even help you. Zombies! You see several shapes shambling towards you with their distinctive slumped shoulders gait. Before you hear the moans and the smell of the graveyard stench, you recognize the threat. Zombies. These things want to rip you apart and feast on your intestines. And that's a very interesting thought. This is a great picture also. I really like this one. I'm gonna... Oh, I can't take a screenshot. I'm using OBS to record this. Okay. That's really good. I like that. I like that a lot. I tend to find the portraits in this game from Cryptic Comet to be rather, I don't know a way to describe it. More cartoony? The look of them doesn't quite match that as what was in the other games Vic Davis made. Solium Infernum, Six Gun Saga, and Armageddon Empires. And it's fine. The game's more punny as well. It's humorous compared to those other games Vic made. I don't really have a problem with it, but what I do like seeing the more realistic-looking cards. It tickles my imagination a bit more. And unlike the other zombies in the house, I did not add any encounter for the ones out here. Last verse, same as the first. Go for that. Oh, that is amazing. I love that. All right, so we'll just take that 6 with our knight. We have a cups card. We have a king card. We'll take that. Take you. I was going to say, we have to get very lucky to convert that 8 to a queen. We either roll a 5 or a 6, but we did. So I'm at the stage of the game where, thanks to my stat line and some feats or weapons edges we have, we're not having any trouble when it comes to physical combat any longer. And this is great, but it makes the game a lot funner to play. Also because we have so many tricks on the board and so many cards to draw in our hand. You avoid getting swarmed and dispatch each of the undead creatures in turn. Nice job. Arguably, we are more powerful than what's in the backyard. Or, sorry, not arguably. We are more powerful than whatever's back here. Let's go for another point in swords. And I should have stepped here. So we're going to do that now. There is an encounter back here. And it's the robot. Okay. I suspected the robot might have been back here. So that's another reason why I was fully searching this place. I'm smiling as well. You can probably hear it in my voice how happy I am, because I suspected it might be out here. And if I didn't take this one step to interact to see it, I never would have come back out here again. I'm sorry. I would not have completed this quest, which now we will definitely do. You see a strange mechanical man over near the far wall. Hunching slightly forward, it looks like it has been deactivated or run out of power somehow. You have heard stories about these things from the old hands at the odd HQ. Robots, they were called. Apparently, there have been attempts by several nefarious organizations to build armies of them to conquer the world. You decide to take the battery Benway gave you and swap it out with the depleted one attached to the robot. It looks like it will take a little strength to remove the battery from its socket, but you follow Benway's instructions and it should be easy. It's a physical test, so be nice. We got a single scry, but that's a King of Pentacles, so we don't want to flip that card. All of the number cards here should also be reduced by 1 point also. Okay, that's enough points to win the challenge. This was actually a really tough one. We just barely did it. You find the compartment hatch that contains the battery pack and unscrew it. You carefully remove the old one and plug the new one in. Simple as pie. The robot chirps in a mechanical voice, "No! Will not return to master!" and then runs off down the hall. Alright! We're probably going to draw another story token on the way back to the mansion, would be my guess. Okay, or maybe not. Even if we do get one, we have enough time that we can probably go back up to the second floor and at least turn in these quests. We will get her again. Oh, we have no face cards? No face cards. Well, we can make face cards. There's no difference, by the way, from choosing, in our case, a bone of swords or cups for these challenges. If we had less cups, let's say we had 4 cups, we would always want to choose swords, though, because if you roll higher than your stat line on a bone roll, you fail that check. Let's take a look at this together, you and I, everyone. So we would have earned, I think, only 4 points from this fight, normally. So thanks to our right hook and our uppercut, we were able to actually get an extra, what is this? 5, 11, 16 points. Wow. And have us win, dominating the enemy, actually. And we could have used my feats as well. I just did not do so. I have to remember I have those. You got her good. No one's going to believe how you did it. And you're not sure you are either. 2 more experience points. 10 swords. We are looking amazing. Okay, there is nothing else for us yet. So the witches are so far away from where the quest is located in this mansion that I think it's a waste of time for us to run back there to talk with them again. But we are going back upstairs very briefly to complete this quest for Benway. We'll turn in this quest also, so we might as well, if it's not too far out of the way, maybe we'll interact with the books. More shadows. So I did adjust, I think, the text for this on a victory, but I don't think we'll get to see it. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and use Whirlwind. One card was randomly increased by 1 point, and then we draw a card. It's not really a whirlwind. That's more like a very exasperated sigh of wind. Okay. Let's use the king here. Not doing so well on the rolls for this fight, but we thankfully didn't really need to worry about that too much. We might as well do this at least once. Wow! That's 3 ones in a row. Man, if I was making armor saves on my Space Marine Terminators, I would have been furious. At this point. Oh man. But thankfully I never played Space Marines, so there's that too. If you don't know what I'm referring to, Warhammer 40k, the miniature game. Back in 3rd edition, they had a 2+ invincibility save thanks to their armor, but only 1 hit point each, if I recall correctly. And so I would swarm them with like 36 Termagants. And it doesn't matter if they get 2+ save, if they're rolling, let's say, 12 dice on their armor saves. At least one of them's dying. And I do remember one time when my opponent he had to roll like 16 dice, and he rolled 6 ones and lost the entire squad. That was like, I think, on my side, that's like 195 points worth of gaunts. Killed what must have been 400 to 500 points at least on his side. That was wonderful. Felt so bad for that poor guy. We get a courage point. Some courage. We get some more experience points. Let's place those. So we can take another psychic talent, but we're going to have to drop the map or the tablet if I do. So we're not going to do that quite yet. I think we'll grab another melee edge next. Let's talk with the demon. Against your better judgment, you throw the slip of paper with the demon's name into the fireplace. You see sparks of blue and green, and the demon laughs with delight and disappears. You received your reward as promised, but you sense that there might be some strings attached. Judgment. You receive +2 card draws and +2 trick cards for any persuasion or deception challenges while this card is in your inventory. That's a nice gift. That's a very thematic gift. I don't think I've seen Judgment, actually. Or I must have, but it's so rare that I see this. It's a pretty interesting looking card. I very much like the art for that one. Okay. So I think we take Brawler, which makes sense for Samwise. Whenever a melee weapon special ability is used, X is added to the bump up applied to any non-face played cards as a result where X is the level of the edge. So this means that when we are rolling for cards that we can use our machete on, we will gain a +1 to it at least so far. I guess we'll aim for another psychic talent edge next. Okay, so let's go upstairs. I'll save the game really quickly since we did get another Arcana card. I like to keep that if the game does glitch. We probably should use the sun. The first Oh, you know what we'll do, everyone? So, all right, here's the plan. We go and talk to Laszlo. A sense of desperation has gripped the vampire coven. The humans seem to be getting the upper hand. Indeed! Indeed it does! This is kind of cool when the game actually plays along with what's happening at the moment. All challenges that involve cups as a primary suit receive a +1 modifier to the number of cards drawn to the player's hand while this story icon is active. Alright, it's time for the basement. So we're going to go turn this quest in with Benway. We'll come up here, we will search the bookshelf, we'll also defeat this vampire wife, and then to the basement we go. I think what we're also going to do right now, should I call it? Let's call it quits here first, though. We'll do all that in next episode. We will probably use the sun to play death at a game of chess. You can get an Arcana card from that encounter. Yeah, so we'll do that as well. We're looking really fantastic, also, at this point in the game. You know, I find that kind of funny. I complain about the balance of the game a lot. And yet, here I am, dominating the game again on agent mode. It's food for me to think about. Alright, so thank you again for watching, everyone, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.